Hi everybody, welcome to the Teachings of Joseph Question of the Week. We got so many questions by email, we decided to put them into a podcast and share them with everybody. Hopefully, it will answer some questions you may have too. So welcome aboard, sit back, relax, let's have some fun. Hi everybody. This week's question comes from Alexandra. There are 3 parts to it that cover a broad band of questions we've been getting, so we thought we'd answer them one at a time because they are all relevant to her overall question. You'll understand what I mean here in a minute. And by the way, thank you, Alexandra. We appreciate your participation and your willingness to help everybody else by putting it out there. So thank you for that. Okay, so let's take the parts one at a time. Alexandra begins stating who she is. I love that. From her current perspective. And she says, and I quote, "Even if I have been on a spiritual path for many years, it is just recently I started to understand the power of focus, alignment, and how we create our reality." Yay, bravo, bravo. This statement tells us, Alexandra, that you are consciously participating in your own expansion by understanding more of who you really are. The spiritual path is always available. When we come in, it's available, right? Probably more so than ever. And as we are walking it, we are participating in our own evolution, right? And that is the evolution of the physical human aspect. That's us. So, as you are consciously choosing this path, the path of alignment, okay, more and more of who you really are is revealed. And you have aha moments along the way where things you've been experiencing, suddenly come together. That's that aha moment. It happens quite often to us that are consciously choosing. You know, we get to these events. Those are the events we're talking about on our path. It just feels like it is only now that you're getting it or you're understanding the power that you have, the power of your own vibration and the benefits of that understanding, because it is in the now. Now is all we have, right? It is a created event on your path that you've been moving toward for a while. And this event is your understanding of more of who you are. Those are the events. Every time we have one of these aha moments, we kick down that domino. If you've watched the domino analogy, we kick it down. That's our event. So remember, understanding breeds expansion. Understanding, very important. It's like opening a new door and seeing something else that makes what you've already experienced more clear. You've experienced the clarity from the space of alignment. That's where clarity is. So when you get clarity on something, you're standing in alignment. And this is why it feels this way. It's just coming more and more into your awareness as you move more and more into the expanded vibrational awareness of you, you see. And this is a step that we all take. It's a wonderful place to acknowledge. So thanks for bringing that up. Okay, let's move on to the next part of her note. Alexandra goes on to say, quote, "I have 2 very different sides of my personality. I sense energy and get visions. A few years ago, I worked as a healer. In some ways, I know I am very evolved. The other side is a person who, for a big portion of my life, has suffered from anxiety, which is quite the opposite." I hope you guys are seeing the awareness that's happening to this chick, Alexandra. That's awesome. So yes, this statement indicates more recognized awareness. I love this. So the 2 sides she's pointing out here are the physical and non-physical aspects, right? Namely, her as the physical human aspect and her soul, her non-physical aspect. If you haven't surmised by now, the vibration she's focusing on when she senses those energies and gets the visions, and the vibration she is utilizing or focusing on when she's doing her healing work are all manifestations of her focus on her soul's vibration. She is in alignment. She is accessing the all-knowing part of her physical vibration. She's in alignment when she is participating and choosing those experiences. The other side of her personality, as she refers to it, the one who has suffered emotionally, is her, the current human aspect. That's the us of her. That's the you of you, right? The human of you. This is the current human aspect who is, during those experiences of suffering, as she refers to it, focused from the out of alignment position with who she really is, right? It's the 3D vibration of her, the 3D version of her, the current human aspect. And that 3D perspective, that vibration, is what is dominant in her physical makeup at that time and is her creative force in those moments, just as her alignment in the healing mode is her creative force in those moments. Interesting, isn't it? This is why she, as the human aspect, is experiencing out of alignment situations and circumstances. So this all links together. So follow us here on this. But you know, guys, this lifetime, and we've said this many times, and we will continue to say it, is the lifetime where the human aspect brings its physical vibration into alignment with the pure vibration of the soul. And we do this by choosing love. This is where we are on this shift in consciousness now, is walking forward, choosing love, choosing more, choosing to utilize and be aware of more of our soul's vibration. In this physical lifetime, we are what we have called readying ourselves for our new earth experience. We are preparing, we're packing, right? We're not packing old beliefs, we're packing loving vibrations, okay? Remember the flower basket, okay? So as you're focused on your own alignment, you are focused in the space of love, therefore, you are creating from it too, right? This creation is the creation of your next event on your eternal pathway. And as you walk forward, more and more of who you really are is revealed. She's stepping all over this. This is beautiful. So, having said all that, this experience of the contrasting view of yourself, Alexandra, is offering you clear choice. And that choice is to consciously bring yourself, you, the human aspect, into alignment in preparation for walking across the bridge to the new earth. Remember, everybody, any belief, any understanding that is an out of alignment vibration does not come with us. And this is what we're talking about here. The two aspects are out of alignment, right? Her human aspect is out of alignment with her soul's aspect, and she has equal access to both all the time, every day, like all of us, right? So to make this shift, we must leave the old understandings and beliefs where they fit vibrationally, where there is vibrational agreement with them, that timeline that holds agreement for those beliefs and those understandings that were conjured in those vibrations, right? They are not something that we can, smuggle through customs. This border that we're crossing over, the border itself is the veil that people talk about, this veil. And the veil is put there by us. It's not put there by the higher dimensions. The veil is a wall of fear, and we create it. The veil is the illusion of fear that is built by us. And it's also removable by us too, right? Only by us. And that's by choosing. So, Alexandra, it looks like you've recognized this, and now hopefully you can move your human aspect forward. This is like having two of the same sides of a magnet trying to get them to attach, but the magnetic fields are not in alignment with each other because there's no vibrational agreement, right? Therefore, there's no in alignment manifestation. Okay? So let's move on to the next part of her question that goes like this. I have a very difficult relationship with a man who is not yet, quote, awake or aware of his own power to choose happiness. Recently, after a very stressful period, I decided to rewrite my manifestation by letting go of disbelief and fears and instead focusing on love. Can I manifest a version of him that is drawn to become awake because I want to see him, therefore also us, happy? It would be very hard for me to let him go. How could I apply the teaching of Joseph on this? Interesting, all the way around. And we hear this a lot. How can I make this guy do what I want to do so we can be happy? Right? We all want that. We all want that. We have one intention here, and that's the intention of love, right? And you can guess which side, which aspect that's coming from. Her soul side, of course. And one intention that is out of alignment. And this is where the human aspect is weighing in, usually, right? Usually where the confusion begins when we get involved. We've got a vulnerable vibration here that is saying, I want him to change so we can be happy. And I can manifest the evolved version of him, or I'm sorry, can I manifest the evolved version of him, which I think is very interesting. Okay, so we've got some assumptions here about this vibration and where she wants him to be. This is obviously coming from her human aspect, right? We humans don't like hearing that. We say, we just want to be happy. And of course we do. However, we are also dragging others along, assuming that they're not happy, not based on our standards anyway. And we just know better for them, right? We all know better. And frankly, sometimes it can be true. But the bottom line is, it is none of our business. Other people's happiness is none of our business. And that's where a lot of us get tripped up on believing that we can make someone happy. There's no better relationship than two people that are happy with themselves, right? And if you've got one of those, you know exactly what we're saying. Okay, so what most of us fail to understand is that we can offer nothing more to anyone that is more beneficial to them than our own alignment, the exampling of our own alignment. You can't experience someone else's expansion, but you can example your own. When you're in alignment, people are naturally drawn to you vibrationally. Most of them have no idea why, but it is being in the vicinity of that pure loving vibration that all of us recognize on our vibrational level, and that is the level of our soul, the connection that we have with everybody else. Of course, we naturally move toward it and its feeling of security. I can liken this to learning to play tennis. This is going to be an off the wall analogy, you guys, but go with me on this. If you always play with someone who can barely hit the ball, you don't improve much, if at all. But if you play with someone who is exempling a different strategy, a different swing perhaps, a different serve, and they are exciting to watch, you are being inspired by their example. And people get inspired by the example that we set when we are exempling our alignment. Because what are you exempling when you're in alignment? You're exempling joy and peace and fun and excitement and inspiration. Who doesn't want to be around that? And naturally, we are drawn to that. Okay? So As Abraham and Esther say, words do not teach, right? However, we know and you know that you cannot control another's vibrational movement. You cannot move them along their chosen path at your speed. You can't. So, what you can do though, and what is the most powerful action you can take in this situation, really in all situations, is to example your own alignment, which is exampling your own conscious expansion. It sounds pretty clear that you are participating, Alexandra, and actively directing your path through your discovery of more of who you really are. Bravo, bravo. And as you continue to focus on that, you are and will continue to shift your own vibration, and soon you will be aware that you are on the precipice of stepping into the fourth dimension where your soul's vibration is your dominant creative force. Okay? We have been in the third dimension for so long. Most of us, our physical vibration is dominant in the out of alignment position. Most of what we've learned is out of alignment with our soul. This lifetime is an opportunity for us to shift that, to pull the blankets over on the other side. And it's that security that we feel when we are in alignment that is so delicious. It's so wonderful. So this really goes to the conscious movement of you, Alexandra, the human aspect that we spoke about earlier. In other words, you are expanding beyond the third dimensional timeline where more fear than love exists, and you're doing it consciously. That's so wonderful. I love that. So, what happens when we do this is that we move beyond those who are in alignment with that third dimensional timeline. In other words, they are still a vibrational match to the third dimension where their dominant physical vibration is one of contrast, and therefore they are in vibrational agreement with the contrast, and you are just not anymore, right? So you kind of gravitate away, passing them, let's say, in the left-hand lane, so to speak. A lot of us go through this. This is a very common experience that we have in some form or another, and it is the physical evidence of vibrational expansion. When we feel like we're so alone. My clients tell me it's the first thing they say all the time, I'm so alone. Yes, we are, because we are moving beyond that timeline where we've been for so long, and we are leaving those people in the vibrational space where they are in agreement with that timeline. When you are choosing consciously, you're standing in a different playing field than others, than most people, really. You go from a football field to a polo field, different fields, different atmospheres, different crowds. It's a different vibrational foundation that manifests a different experience. That's all it is. You are moving forward, so keep going, keep going. So really our answer, the soul's perspective response to this question is the best action you can take is to focus on your own path and example love and not fear. Let's see, you say it would be hard to let him go, so focus on the loving parts of him. Focus on his soul's vibration where you are always connected to everybody, and find the love and not those parts that are causing you stress. But this is a good rule of thumb for all relationships, but we want to add this too. If you are always a vibrational match to those who are in your vibrational circle, let's say, and if you are, in a sense, resisting your own expansion because you don't want to leave the group, you will continue to create relationships that are out of alignment because you're out of alignment too. As long as you choose to stand out of alignment, that's where all the people that are out of alignment are standing too. And those are your choices, okay? But when you begin to consciously shift your perspective and come more and more into your knowing of this, how you're creating your vibrational circle, your reality shifts to reflect that shift of focus. And this brings a new vibrational circle. Now you're standing in a new playing field, right? And a different experience of relationships is upon you. But the most important relationship that you will be, let's say, fostering is the relationship with your source, with your soul, with you. That is the most important relationship. Okay? Sometimes those who we want to bring along with us on our pathway, on our timeline, sometimes they acquiesce and choose to expand with us based on our example. And they begin to feel the truth of the example that we're living. And then they follow suit. However, some choose to remain in their comfort zone. And of course, there is never judgment for their choosing. Each path is as individual as our fingerprints, remember that. And they are based solely on the desire of that individual human aspect, for which we have no control, over which we have no control, because we're talking in terms of vibration, right? So many of our relationships, in fact, serve this purpose, and that is to assist each other in our motion forward. Some come with us and some choose another path. It's all up to us individually to choose our own path based on our individual desires for expansion, known or not, either consciously chosen or chosen by default. Every relationship is an experience of vibration, and all relationships indicate the vibrational makeup of the participants. I'm going to say that again. All relationships indicate the vibrational makeup of its participants. There are some relationships that are meant to last a lifetime and some for only 5 minutes. But you have to remember too that the time spent experiencing something, experiencing anything really, it doesn't matter. Not from the fifth dimensional perspective, it doesn't matter. From your soul's perspective, all experiences, every one of them, are events, and they simply offer more choice. Okay? We understand more about this transformation when we can look at it from the bird's eye view, from the soul's perspective of love, where there is only vibrational agreement and experience. So it stands to reason for us here in our physicalness that as we progress and choose to move into the more expanded vibrational patterns, the more expanded timelines, we will move away from those who have and are choosing a different route. That's the journey. It is as individual again as our fingerprints. We are moving at different paces, in different directions, all going in the same umbrella direction. We're all going forward, but there are unlimited tributaries on how to get there, right? And it's everybody's individual choice. So the last part of Alexandra's question was interesting. She makes a statement and she says, please shed light on this dilemma. She's describing this situation as a dilemma. It is a dilemma, of course, from the third dimensional perspective, because the manifestation is out of alignment. And the descriptive word that is dilemma is a good label for it, right? Because dilemma describes an out of alignment situation. The dilemma here, though, we say, is not in how do I manifest a different part of someone else so I can experience it, but I find myself in an out of alignment relationship. How do I bring the relationship into alignment so I am happy? Okay? For a relationship to be in alignment, the ingredients, Joseph's back in the kitchen. The ingredients need to be in alignment with what you want to manifest, what you want to experience. And in this case, they are not. We've got a vulnerable collective vibration. The collective vibration of this relationship is out of alignment with who you really are, Alexandra, and who both of you really are. Therefore, it's manifesting stressful situations. Everything an out of alignment relationship manifests will be out of alignment too. When two people come together who are dominantly emitting the soul's vibrational aspect, there is no stress, there's no contrast, there is only knowing. And the relationship is in alignment because the two people are individually in alignment. It's beautiful. There is vibrational agreement between those participants. In 3D speak, this could be called a contract, where there's a meeting of the minds, right? The contract, the meeting of the minds. In our speak, we call it the blending of vibration, vibrational understanding. And it will last as long as it's in agreement. As long as there is vibrational agreement, the relationship will be a reflection of that agreement. It's when we try to force a relationship to be something that it's not that the trouble begins. And a lot of us do that. We do it because we don't know what we are trying to create here. But forcing is a 3D out of alignment action. You guys all know that. And it serves no purpose in the fifth dimension. And which holds you, by the way, out of alignment in the creative position. This is universal truth. So that's what we have to say to you, Alexandra. You are doing so beautifully, and we commend you for your focus on your own alignment and the recognition of when you're in and when you're out. That's the first step, the recognition. So then you can change it. You can shift it. So we'll leave you with that. If you guys have a question, email us at info@theteachingsofjoseph.com. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. We hope you're getting something out of these questions of the week. It's really fun. Enjoy it. Anyway, love you guys. We'll be back soon. Take care. Thanks for listening, everybody. Join us again for the next question of the week with Joseph. Take good care.